quick story. I go, hey, Steve, with all due respect, I don't know how to introduce you right now.
Right.
And this is the response I get. Come on now, BT, I don't need no introduction, man. What are you kidding me, man? That's what
I
he
did
said.
not say that. You was like, Coach Stevie. You don't need any introduction. You don't need. That's what you said, but it's all right, man. What's up, big boy?
How you doing, Steve?
Life is lovely, man. My first summer off for 15 years, even though I haven't been off too much. Been all over MSNBC, filled in on WABC radio this past Sunday. Been doing a lot of radio, a lot of television, but at the same time, got the first break that I've had in 15 years in the summertime. I'm loving it and taking a little break before I get back in the mix of things. So
but
it's nice.
I know you still didn't get into golf, which is a shame.
You know, it is a shame. It's pretty pathetic. But I'm going to be out there with you this Friday. For Tim McCarthy, our boss Tim's outing? Absolutely. I'll be there.
What are you going to be doing, caddying?
No, I'm going to be playing with you. And if you're so good,
no, I stink
listen,
now.
Listen, really?
I hurt my back.
Is this? Do I need to get the violin? Do I need to get the violin? You're saying you stink.
I'll let you carry my bag.
No, not at all. We're going to play together.
What are you going to play? You don't know how to play.
Listen. Hey.
You played once with me.
And I wasn't that bad.
You weren't that bad.
I wasn't that bad.
Can I trace over a little story here? Wasn't that bad. And I have told people this story a million times. First of all, it was right after I ruptured my Achilles. And Steven, if you know Steven as I do, he is truly one of the most generous people I know.
Gotcha.
With his money, with his heart, all that stuff, and especially with his heart. So he buys me some, this is when we were doing the show together.
Yep.
And I was promoted to the evening show.
That's right.
We were leaving.
Yeah.
And as a sign of gratitude, you bought me some sticks. Right. So we go out for the first, but then I got hurt, so I couldn't use them. So we go out for the first time. And this guy, I'm on now. If you golf, imagine being out for 3 months and dying to go play, and this guy's in the pro shop for 45 minutes. I go, where the hell is this guy? He finally walks out. He's got sauerkraut hanging from his face.
Yes, I do. My hot dogs with my sauerkraut. You know, I gotta have it.
He had about 3 hot dogs, right? And I go, where are you? And he comes out and he says, I was signing autographs, man. I go, no one's in there.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
It's not true. I've never lied about that.
Wait.
There were people in the golf shop that were asking for my autograph and pictures. They weren't there when you came, but they were there when I came.
Okay. So then, moving past that, he comes out with like Nike hat. I
look good, didn't I?
You always look good. Argyle socks, neon stuff, new balls, right? We're on the second hole at New York Country Club, right? And he hits a ball in the sand. So he's sitting 3. He's about 140 yards from the green, hitting his 4th shot. And he yells across, and I have told this story to so many people who ask me about you. Hey, yo, BT, what's I hit, the 3-wood? From the sand bunker. Now, this is the same guy who thinks he's going to play with me on Friday?
That's true.
Are you crazy?
That is absolutely true. You are telling the absolute truth about that story. I certainly did. Never mind, I'm just completely throwing aside golf etiquette. You can't be yelling across the green, all of that stuff, but that's what I was doing. You're absolutely right about that, but I did hit some good shots.
You did.
It's just that I have no consistency. I'm not as bad as Barkley. I certainly look better than Barkley when I'm swinging. I dress the part. I tell people right now, I look like Tiger Woods right up until the moment I swing. Then we find out how much I suck. I'm really that bad. But that's okay. That's okay.
I want to give people, because one thing I also get, Steven, it's probably a lot more about you than it is about me, and I'm okay with saying that. A lot of people miss our show together. Mm-hmm. A lot of people.
So do I.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. I'm getting paid more money without you, but that's besides the night. There's a lot of people out there who really enjoyed what we did. We had a unique show, and without being so arrogant to say that it was the best, it was different.
Right.
The ethnicity, just the points of view were very different.
Right.
And I want to give people the chance to talk to you today at 1-800-919-3776, 1-800-919-ESPN.
Let me say this to you. I've
ahead,
always said, everybody, my family loves you. Everybody that knows me loves you. And, they always talk about how, we're friends. I'm like, no, he's not my friend. That's my brother. Mm-hmm. We're that tight. And I miss the show. I miss you. Working with you was one of the best experiences I had. You got me started in the radio. I've always told people that. I mean, I came to New York. The reporter's mentality is totally different. It's about the story. You're chasing the story, where the news is at, what's going on at that moment in time. I didn't have any radio experience until I came here, and I knew how badly you wanted your own show. And for me to be thrust into that position, you basically made it happen for me, man. So that's where our friendship started, and that's why it'll never end, because your generosity, you're always talking about mine. your generosity, I can't even say enough about it. That's why I'm here in studio with you right now, my man, because I love you. You know that.
Absolutely. But apparently you don't love me enough to put you on your Twitter account. God doesn't even know I have a Twitter account.
I didn't know you had a Twitter account. You know,
I tweet 10 times a day.
Know that? Well, I didn't know that.
I thought we were brothers. How do you not know?
No. Listen, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know, my man. Just because we brothers don't mean I know everything. You know, you love your parents. I'm sure they don't know everything about little
Thank God.
There we go.
Right. I'm going to throw a couple of quick. Sure. We're going to spend a lot of time on the hoops. Okay.
Sure.
Throw a couple of quick hits at you just to kind of re-whet the appetite.
Yep.
Let people know what they've been missing if you haven't heard Steven in a while.
Gotcha.
Don't expound too much. Just give me the first thing that pops into your head. Jerry Manuel. That's not a good sign.
Decent. Could do better, though. Could do better.
You like this Yankees team?
Yes, I mean,
do. Do you really like this Yankees? This team, where are they at?
I really like it because they went out and they got pitching. CC Sabathia, and Burnett, you needed that badly. I would have liked Jim and Wong to get off to a better start, but they're the Yankees and they're handling their business to top first place. They're doing the things that we expected them to do. And I also like Joe Girardi. I know he's somewhat on a hot seat, hasn't gotten the vote of confidence, but I like his demeanor. He's a no-nonsense guy, and I think that when you're making that transition from the Tory era to this kind of new era, Steinbrenner's going now, the Suns are going right now, you need a new face of the organization, and I think if Joe Girardi enjoys some success this season, I think he will cement the fact that he's the new face of the New York Yankees.
I'm with you. I like Joe a lot, and it's funny, too, because now I'm starting to see this now, and I'm flashing back to a lot of the conversations that we had back in the day here on 1050, and a lot of it was around Joe Torre, and we both agreed that Joe was becoming, at least the perception was very passive, kind of sit back, wait for something to happen. Girardi's the complete antithesis, and it's funny to hear you say that if I have this right, it seems like everything that you were pining for back then, the Yankees actually got what you thought they needed a couple of years ago.
Absolutely,
with this attitude.
Absolutely, which is what I was harping on when remember you were on the air that night and I called you and saying, "What's the big deal about Joe Torre?" Remember that? And it's not that I interviewed Joe Torre for ESPN.com after that. I wrote a column for ESPN.com at the time. I went out to LA and sat down with Joe Torre, and I was very, very honest. Like, nobody can question his level of success, but I don't think there's anything wrong with somebody reaching a point where they say we need a new voice, we need to hear a new voice, we need a new face for this organization, and I think that's what the Yankees were doing, and I don't think that's an indictable offense against the organization. Joe Torre moved on, and I think it remotivated him, and it instilled some stuff in him that may have been lacking when he was with the Yankees in his latter years.
That's Stephen A. Smith in studio with me. In case you haven't heard him in a while, right here on the station, it's always good to get him back up, the Brandon Tierney Show. Let's take this, and then we'll get a quick break at a Sports Center, get some calls from me and Stephen, 1-800-919-3776.
Yep.
Something else that you and I kicked around a lot, and boy, this bored us to tears, was the Eric Mangini regime. But the complete opposite, Rex Ryan comes in guns a-blazing. I think
love him already.
A great jolt for the city.
Love him already.
Right?
Great jolt for the city as long as he's better than competent. I mean, nothing would be worse than for him to talk the talk and then this team stinks up the joint in East Rutherford come the regular season. That simply can't happen. Certainly wouldn't blame him. I'd blame Brett Favre more than I'd blame him in the event that the Jets don't have a successful season because your quarterback situation is shaky right now. But definitely from a personality perspective, I don't think there's any question that he's tailor-made for New York. And if he's successful, he may have been the best pickup in quite some time by the Jets organization.
All right, let's face it. The man next to me buttered his bread for years talking hoops, and we'll do that coming up next. And we'll talk about Donnie Walsh's his vision, his plan, the execution or lack thereof, and what's going on. Kobe out west. I know some people want to get into a couple things with him and AI. You're very tight with Allen.
Yeah.
Where's he going?
I spoke to all of those people in the last few days, so it'll be interesting to talk about.
Save it. LeBron, more specifically, LeBron, D. Wade, and Bosh. I mean, what the Knicks are trying to do, and so far what they have been unable to accomplish. Where's this going to lead to? We'll kick that around. Stephen A. is with me. It's a pleasure to have him. I love him. Brandon Tierney Show back in a sec right here at 1050 ESPN New York.
This is 1050 ESPN. This is the Brandon Tierney Show.
Like the old days, Stephen A. Smith is with me today. It's always good to talk to him, good to see him. It's about 20 minutes in front of 12 here on 1050 ESPN here. What are you laughing about?
It's just funny, man.
Why?
Because you know how I always imitate you. Hey, Stevie.
I used to see the way we imitate you.
Exactly.
Can I ask you a serious question?
Sure, please.
Because, again, I'm having all these flashbacks and the things that we used to kick around both sports and just, knocking on each other every day.
Right.
Now, I'm going to tell you, if you're watching right now on 1050ESPN.com, you can see me in Steven's studio. You always rail me about my hair, all right? Losing my hair.
Right.
I'm cool with it. I shave it. I'm fine with it. And And I used to make fun of you about your little peanut head.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And
Nothing's changed. Well, it's still a peanut head.
But I also brought up the fact that your hairline was going up and up, and you just vehemently denied that. Are you okay with that now?
I'm okay with it because the fact is that guess what? A receding hairline runs in my family. Number one. Mm-hmm. Number two, it hasn't receded anymore over the last year or two. It's where it's at, man. It's where it's at. I'm actually jealous of big square head guys like yourself because you're able to rock the bald look and get away with it. Mm-hmm. Whereas me, I got this peanut head and I got to hold on to it even at the risk of people saying I look like George Jefferson, because if I go bald with this noggin in the back of my head and this beak for a nose, it would look very, very bad. And I'm not going for that. I'm holding on to it for dear life. I'm holding on to it for dear life. I'm not going to lie.
I think what everybody do, go to Google and put in Steven's name and come up with some old footage and we both work for Comcast at various points.
That's right. Yeah.
And when he's rocking the flat top, it's like Dale Ellis.
That's true, except I was about 150 pounds lighter, which made it look even worse.
1-800-919-3776. I'm going to ask you straight up about LeBron, but we'll say that. Let's get some calls, and we will get right now. Let's go to Connecticut. Stanford Max is up on 1050. Max, how are you today? What's going on?
Good, I'm good. Good to hear you back, Stephen A.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, I listen to you guys all the time.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right. What do you think about Eddie Curry going to Washington?
Anywhere that Eddie Curry can go other than in the New York Knicks uniform is something that's extremely beneficial to this organization. He hasn't gotten the job done. I know that he says he's in shape, that he came in, the summer having lost about 30 pounds. Means absolutely nothing to me, because the fact is that you've had opportunities on numerous occasions in the past to make sure you were in shape. You weren't, but you were still collecting a paycheck, and you've contributed absolutely nothing to the New York Knicks organization pretty much for the last 2 years. So I've got a problem with it as far as I'm concerned. I've given up on him. Mm-hmm. I'm quite sure he's 20-10 waiting to happen if he wants it bad enough. But when you are paid millions of dollars to perform for 2 or 3 hours a night, and you haven't done so in years, and you have his level of talent, what to me is lacking is a sense of urgency, a sense of commitment, whether or not you really, really care. And when I've got to ask those questions about you, you mean absolutely nothing to me as a basketball player. So good riddance.
I'm going to tell you what I think your greatest strength there. It just jumped out to me right now. Aside from your charisma, which is very good.
Thank you.
You squeeze in more words per minute and still put together cohesive statements more than anybody in the business. You squeeze in a lot of words in a short amount of time, and you still make sense.
Honestly, don't think about it. I just do what I do. If you think about it, then one thing I know that I am, whether you love it or hate it, I know that I am authentic in the sense that I'm real, and I say what I mean.
And you're an original.
Yeah,
you've always been
thank
that.
you, thank you.
Let's get Paul in the Bronx up now, and then enough of the pleasantries. We start railing on Steve pretty soon. Paulie up in the Bronx. Go ahead, Paul. How are you?
What's up, BT?
Hello,
Stephen
Paul.
A, what's up?
What's up, Paul?
I'm happy. You know what I'm going to say. Ramon Sessions, finally. I've been saying it since the wintertime. Let's go, Donnie. This is a good pick. This is a diamond in the rough. Andre Miller can't shoot. He's slow. Guards run past him. Ramon Sessions fits.
Well, let me tell you what's wrong with your thinking. I do agree with you that if I had to pick of the litter and Andre Miller, even the Jason Kidd, and Steve Nash, and all of these guys, considering the money that would come along with those guys, I would pick a Ramon Sessions simply because he's cheaper. But what does it say to you as a Knicks fan that you are excited about Ramon Sessions?
I like him. I think he's pretty good.
I think he's good. I like him, but to have the excitement that Paul's has and is exhibiting right now says an awful lot about what we really think about the Knicks right now.
By the way, we came across
a
report, more to the calls in a sec. We'll get back to him. We came across a report early this morning. Somebody on somebody's Twitter account, which, let's face it, is a way that, to get out some info, and Twitter is a viable medium.
It is what
right
it
now.
is. It is what it is. People were stealing my identity. That's why I had to come up with a Twitter account, a Facebook account, all that stuff. But go ahead.
Well, we came across something about LeBron James.
Yep.
And before we throw it at Steve, who was obviously in the know, we sent out Lundberg doing work to comb the streets of the city to find out a little bit more about LeBron. Robin, what'd you come up with, man?
What's up, Brandon? You're referencing that writer, Torre. I think I've seen him on TV talking about, like, Madonna or Michael Jackson.
He's about to be on MSNBC right now, but go ahead.
Yeah, he said a first-rate source told him that LeBron is going to leave Cleveland for New York. So I've been walking circles around the Garden trying to find out who that source is. I think at this point I'd probably have better luck going to Nike Town to ask for the LeBron dunk tape, but I haven't been able to find the source. However, I was able to find Nick from Queens. I'm not sure how reputable he is, but he seems fairly certain LeBron's coming to New York. There is no possible way LeBron James is not going to New York. Woo! LeBron, baby. Woo!
Is that Nick from Queens? Is that who that is? Hey, Nick.
There you have it.
That's so. Nick, and by the way, speaking of Nike Town, remember when we did that show out at Nike Town that time, Steve? We got the free sneakers?
Yeah, I remember that.
Put your phone down, dude. You're on the air.
I am, but I'm multitasking, but go ahead.
Hey, Robin, anything else, man?
I thought you were talking to me, telling Steven to put his phone down.
Oh, God.
For that source, too, man. He's got the numbers. He's got the hookup.
I don't need the source.
Connected.
I don't need sources when it comes to that kind of information.
Robin,
man.
thanks. And for more Lundberg doing work, 1050ESPN.com as Robin hits the streets. You still can't just focus on the microphone.
I am focused.
That's the thing.
I'm
Back
sitting
in the
there
day,
talking to you. I'm looking right at you.
Are you taken, by the way? Are you, you know what I'm getting at. We always talk about this.
Life is slowing down. I'm a daddy now, so life is slowing down.
So you did tell everybody. I wasn't sure if you...
Life is slowing down, and it's D-Day has arrived.
Are you changing diapers?
Yes, I am.
Attaboy.
Yes, I am.
Good man.
Yes, I am.
Nothing wrong with
yes, I
that.
am. I'm focused on family now. I'll just leave it at that.
No, I guess I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, you're going to tease me, and I'm not giving you that ammunition over the air. I'll wait till off the air to give you some news. But go ahead.
LeBron, seriously.
Seriously speaking,
He's not coming.
I believe that he still is. I believe that he's not happy with Cleveland. I think that when he refused to return their phone calls or after they lost to Orlando, the classless manner in which he handled that last game, losing to Orlando, that was not good.
Oh, I didn't have a problem with that. Well, let's not get sidetracked.
Right,
LeBron
but he is still considering leaving. Everybody that I've spoken to says it's pretty much done that he's going to leave Cleveland. He's going for it now. I can tell you that Shaquille O'Neal plans on leaving as well. He wants to retire.
Who cares about Shaquille?
Well, it matters in the sense that, again, when you think about him making that transition to Cleveland, again, he's only got 1 year left. Wants to retire in the New York Knicks uniform. This is Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq?
Yes, he does.
No, thank you, Shaq.
I'm just telling you.
You want the veteran minimum? We'll be happy to have you. Otherwise, take a hike.
I'm trying to tell you. That's why I'm saying. I mean, anything's possible, but he does want to retire in a New York Knicks uniform. LeBron is still obviously strongly considering being a New York Knick, whether it's going to be that or the net. But I don't expect him to be a Cleveland Cavalier. But I will say this about LeBron James and the New York Knicks. Do not rule out the possibility, and I will tell you right here on the BT show, do not rule out this possibility that either Dwayne Wade or Kobe Bryant, assuming the New York Knicks have that cap money available for 2 stars, do not be surprised if one of them comes with LeBron.
See, but here's the problem, Steve. And we could bore everybody with the finances.
Right.
I just went through this before you came in the studio.
They lowering the cap. It's difficult
$50
now.
million.
I know that.
If the BRI drops to 2.5 to 5%, which
Exactly.
it probably will based on the projections.
But you also have
I can afford these guys.
You also have to remember. You also have to remember a couple of things. Number one, year to year, they decide what the cap is going to be. The economic recession has really thrown things awry right now, so that's why you see such a dramatic drop. That can elevate again once the economy recovers. Number one, number two, and more importantly, when you're talking about money, when they made those deals, when Donnie Walsh pulled off those trades with Jamal Crawford and those guys earlier last season, that was enough to free up enough for 2 max players. Not to mention the fact that any little nuggets of finances that you want to throw out there, there's a billionaire that owns the New York Knicks. You understand what I'm saying?
But I'm not worried about luxury tax. It's about salary cap. There's no way to circumvent that. You can pay dollar for dollar all you want, as Dolan is so willing to do.
That's right.
But there's only so many ways to manipulate the salary cap.
I completely agree with you. What I'm saying to you is that if the salary caps gets elevated because there's an economic recovery, and you do have that money that you originally thought that you were going to have available to pay 2 max players, I am trying to tell you right now that LeBron James has some friends who absolutely have no problem coming to play with King James in a New York Knicks uniform inside of Madison Square Garden, and I named you 2 of them.
That's good news, potentially. Let me ask you this. I wish we had more time. We'll do this again soon.
Because Kobe can opt out.
I know he can.
Yeah, that's right. All right.
I would not personally pay David Lee a penny more than $8.5 million.
Neither would I.
What do you think the Knicks number is, and do you think he's back next season?
I think it's around $8 million. I think that he'll probably be back next season because he doesn't have but so many options. Utah matching the offer for Paul Millsap really hurt him. I think that you look at Portland and they're looking for a point guard, not necessarily somebody like him, even though they like his talent. I think ultimately if you're David Lee, considering the numbers that you were able to put up in a system like Mike D'Antoni's, it's extremely beneficial for you to take those dollars. But who knows what will happen.
Let's get Medina right here in Manhattan. Up now on 1050. Medina, how are you? What's going on?
Hey, what's up, BT? What's up, Stephen A?
What's going on, my man? How are you?
Yeah, 3 quick points. When are you going to come back in the air, man?
I haven't decided yet. I mean, the right opportunity has to present itself.
Would you still want to do radio every day?
Radio has become my priority.
I'm in the truck listening to all the shows, and it's just also you're good, BT. Don't get me wrong, but there's just to listen to Stephen A. Just to hear his point. You nailed it with the LeBron and Wade. I was wondering that. That was my second question. So you already nailed that. My third question is quickly about Kobe surpassing Jordan because he did it by himself. What do you think about that?
Jordan has 6 rings. Jordan's a 6-time NBA MVP. Jordan did not lose by 39 points in Game 6 of an NBA Finals. He did not lose 2 finals appearances. Didn't get ramrodded by the Detroit Pistons like Kobe did back in 2004. Didn't get beat down by the Boston Celtics like Kobe did in 2008. Kobe's great. He's a future Hall of Famer, arguably the best player in the game today, but he is not Michael Jordan. There's only one Michael Jordan.
He'll never surpass him. I think that he can get on par with him.
He can get on par. He can get on par,
he'll never jump
especially
past
as a
him. Not
talent
happening.
or whatever. But what players will tell you what separated Jordan was his heart. Not just his commitment, his heart, his unwillingness to lose.
Kobe's pretty fierce too, man.
Kobe's fierce, but he lost 2 finals.
It's true. All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap it up. Steve's going to hang around to the top of the hour, set you up with Colin, see what he has in store. Brandon Tierney Show. Stephen A. with me, like the old days. 1050 ESPN New York. Stephen A. Smith is with me it's been about 40 minutes or so. I love having him in. We don't have much time now, unfortunately. StephenA.com, by the way. Quickly, Michael Vick, should he be allowed to play?
Absolutely.
Why?
Paid his debt to society. He's been in a federal penitentiary, man. This is not a guy that just lost potentially $130 million, lost his career, and he served hard time. Enough.
Okay.
Let the man play.
Now, if you were a GM, would you go after him?
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely. Because he can play.
He can?
And he can produce. I believe he can play.
As a quarterback?
I don't know.
As a quarterback?
I don't know. But as an athlete, you can find some way for him to do. Plus, he could be box office. Even if people want to come to boo him and hate him, he'd still be box office.
But that's why I wish we had more time.
Are you worried about PETA and these animal rights activists? That would be the only reason you don't bring him in.
I'm not worried about that. What I'm saying is, I guess the fandom doesn't play as much in the NFL. Every seat's pretty much sold. It's not like the Pirates, who you want to generate 10,000 additional sales. Every home game is packed across the NFL.
There's a difference between something being sold and there being interest, a buzz.
Here's the
where
thing,
you're in the news all the time. They're talking about you. That matters.
You know what everybody forgets about? Michael Vick is a 53.8 career completion percentage.
Not very
guy.
impressive. Not very
that
impressive.
That would tie for 31st last year in the NFL.
Not very impressive.
What has he done?
But you still want to watch him, didn't you?
I did.
There you go.
I would allow him to play. I agree with you.
That's right.
I would not want him on my team. I don't think he brings that much.
All right.
I got to roll.
We'll see.
StephenA.com. Brother, it's a pleasure. Love you to death, man.
Same here.
The best to you as always, Steve.
No doubt.
I'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
Stephen A. Smith, everybody. I'm back tomorrow.